it is important that we do this on time. And I'm going to ask Mary Martha to come join us. Oh, goodness. Board members, you are going to be at H.1 in the agenda so that you know where you are.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time today. As President Spear mentioned, the relevant items are under H.1.1 in the agenda. And this is concerning the proposal for decision in the matter of Pearl Adenaka Odenusam. And on January 12, 2024, a proposal for decision was issued by an administrative law judge, or ALJ, regarding the contested case of TSBP versus Pearl Adenaka Odenusam. And for reference, she holds pharmacist license 32584. And the ALJ at the State Office of Administrative Hearings did find by a preponderance of the evidence that Ms. Odenusam violated the Pharmacy Act and board rules by failing to report to the Texas Prescription Monitoring Program and to legally operate a pharmacy that ceased engaging in business for 30 days or longer. On January 25th, 2024, staff filed written exceptions to that PFD just to alert the ALJ to a mischaracterization of testimony that was put on by staff's witnesses, and also findings of fact that incorrectly stated another pharmacist filled in as PIC in Ms. Odenusam's absence. And on February 14, 2024, the ALJ did grant staff's exceptions. In the proposal for decision, the ALJ made the recommendation that Ms. Odenusam's license be reprimanded rather than be subject to an administrative penalty. And this was due to, in the ALJ's opinion, a lack of aggravating factors and evidence of mitigating factors that were presented. So before you, staff has actually prepared two board orders for entry for your consideration. The first order is consistent with the ALJ's recommendation and imposes a reprimand on Ms. Odenusam's license. And the other order imposes a $2,000 administrative penalty. So that's $1,000 for the failure to operate allegation and $1,000 for the prescription monitoring program reporting allegation. And today, staff is urging that you enter the proposed board order containing the administrative penalty because this disciplinary action is in the public interest and it's also consistent with board precedent in similar cases. Specifically, the calculation of the administrative penalty is pulled directly from Board Rule 28165 1H and Z. And these rules prescribe a $1,000 penalty for PMP reporting violations and $1,000 for the failure to operate allegation. I would also note that this, again, is consistent with board precedent, and the administrative penalty and not a reprimand are used to resolve similar cases at informal conference and in settlement proposals by mail. And I'll also note that the administrative penalty is what was recommended by the informal conference panel in this matter. And I'll just remind you that Board 281.60B concerning the board's role in discipline provides that you're not bound by the ALJ's recommendation in these matters. And it's at the discretion of the board to impose the sanction consistent with the Pharmacy Act and the Administrative Procedure Act. And I'd also note that we're not here to relitigate any of the facts of the case. The ALJ made findings of fact in the proposal for decision. And as the fact finder, those stand, and we're not proposing that they be amended today. Thank you for your time.
All right, at this time, I will ask if Ms. Odenusam is here. Would you like to come forward and make a statement? And as you come forward, if you'll introduce yourself, and then you can take a seat. And we'll give you about 3 to 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, all of you. And I noticed it seemed like the meeting has been going on before I got here. I got a notice on Friday about a meeting that started by 1:50. My name is Pearl Anusim, and I live in Dallas. I have been a pharmacist licensed in 1991. My graduation year was 1985. I'm a pharmacist by examination and through the Foreign Pharmacy Graduate Equivalency Certification. And I've been practicing since 1991. Most of my practice has been in retail. And I've been in the Dallas area most of the time. I've also worked in the hospital for a brief period of time, but most of the time it's been in retail. And I have worked for a few chains. And I don't know if I know not everybody here is a pharmacist. Everybody is in different jobs. And first of all, I really want to appreciate the board and the people that implement the rules for the job they do. I know it's not easy, especially retail pharmacy. And it has evolved over time, and it has become more challenging. And I know what the regulators are going through. It's a hard job, and I want to appreciate all of you who do it. And it's because of what you do. That's why we're still where we are today. I've been in retail most of the time. I've had a lot of experience. I like people. I like talking to people. I like seeing people. And because after a while, I started asking myself, why am I in retail? And I found out that I like people. I like meeting people. I like seeing people. I like sharing with them. I like crying with them when they're going through stuff. I think that's why. Another thing I wanted to talk about was my experience at Maze. Maze was uniquely different. Most of the time I worked for the chains, and I was called in to come and help this pharmacy to get jobs started, and I met a lot of challenges, which I told the guy that came on January the 4th. It's uniquely challenging, but my goal was to get that pharmacy up and running. If it runs, then I can go. But it also was happening during the period of time that I lost my only sister, who was a nurse at the county hospital for 30 years and got sick. And we fought. She fought for 11 years. And finally, she succumbed. And she made me promise her that I have to fulfill what she wanted done when she died. So, going back to my period at Mace, nothing was working. Within that period of time, which wasn't even 90 days, electricity was taken out 2 times. And I tried to get to the owners for a whole lot of stuff, and I wasn't getting much help. I was tempted to pack my thing and go back to Dallas. But I didn't want to go home because I'll be so preoccupied with the loss of my sister. So I'll be better off if I can deal with other people and help them. So the computer was working, but the software company was old. Electricity was disconnected 2 times. The last time it was disconnected for 5 days because we were trying to get it off. They paid for it, but it took that length of time. This is all what I was dealing with. The first day I went there was no internet, and I told them, and I never saw them. And my colleague kept begging me, please don't go, help them. So, and the third party was also disconnected. So I focused a lot of effort on reconnecting the insurance. I also did doctor detailing. I had 2 doctors in that facility. I talked to them. I go outside, and they're telling me the patients have to choose where they go. My problem with that place, the cash register was not working. I told them I need a change in my register. So that if somebody buys and pays cash, it's like I give them change. I have to give change out of like that. These are the challenges that I had. There's no ATM machine working to collect money. So this is all I had to deal with. I got some prescriptions. I could not fill them because the people have insurance. Usually I let them know early. There's no time no need wasting their time. I could have entered the data in the system and turned around and told them, but I didn't want to do that. I said, we don't have insurance. I got some that I didn't have the medication. And they wouldn't wait to order it, like somebody that went to the dentist. So that was one of the things that I had to deal with, that I did not fill enough prescriptions. And that the board says that the primary thing a pharmacist does in a pharmacy is fill prescription. But here I am trying to jumpstart the third party, going with IRS, sending information back and forth. I will call out to doctor's offices. When I get off, I will go. All this I was doing. Sure enough, I did not do enough, but I tried. The next one was when I took my sister's remains to Nigeria. I've been a BSc at least 2 times before this time. I know the rules. I had the board book. I know there are updates. I'm reading it like I'm reading a Bible. I have, whatever I don't know, I call people, I ask. If a stable person shows up, I call them. I was calling Kathy Cardinals for some information. She's on the Houston area. I know what I needed to do, and I did it. For the period that I went, for a period of 3 weeks, I went for the funeral. I made an arrangement for a pharmacist to fill in for me. What happened is, I found out the lady that hired me was hurting so much for money with everything that was going on. When I left, the lady said she will come, but the owner never finalized anything with her. I came back 3 weeks later to find out nothing happened. P&P was not reported because nothing happened. And I found out that the company, the software company, was being paid over $600. I've had her paid, and they restated it for 1 month. They wasn't paid again. So during this period of time, they already disconnected their service. And so January 4th, I knew that that year I was going to leave. But I came back to see if I can get the third-party insurance, the prescription card insurance to start, so that they can start accepting this. But then he shows up on January 4th. And I had to tell him everything. He couldn't even print the paper because there was no toner in the thing, since I started. And he had to use flash drive to get all the information. I know what I was supposed to do. I did everything I was supposed to do. And if I haven't asked my question, it's going on almost 2 years. I said, is there anything I could have done different to get this pharmacy started? It pained me I could not get things to go on before I had to leave. And the day that the guy came from February was the first time I had seen the owner. And she was very upset. She was very upset. I found out later she paid so much for that pharmacy and nothing was going on. And so I feel that I had to, bear the brunt of the whole thing. I would call her, I would text her. And there was something she said that day, and that was the day I just made up my mind, look, I've tried. This is not working. And I had to give my notice. I had to leave. I'm just not going to say what she said here, but I just wasn't comfortable with what she said. So, give me, every time I keep asking myself, I want to understand what I did wrong or where I went bad. And I don't know how much time I have. I practiced in Houston. Why I practiced in Dallas? Why I went to Houston? My daughter was getting married. I mean, my paycheck, mother said, I had 4 kids. Mother said, oh Lord, what happened in my family? And I did not have a job. And so I had to look outside. And the practice in Houston is very different from practice in Dallas. And but I had a whole lot to learn, and I learned. But I had all the controlled substances secure. I know what drugs have done to people. I have a nephew that is messed up today in jail. So I know. I don't know who else is affected. That. So long as I'm practicing, I'm going to have to go by the rules. I'm going to have to secure controlled substances. There's been a time in retail I've had to report theft of controlled substances, and the people came after me. So if you're talking about all these things, I've had quite a lot of experience with retail because I've been in retail. But I'm so sorry that I had to put the board and put the regulators through this. But I look at it, I was also trying to help somebody who has invested a lot of money in a pharmacy to jumpstart a pharmacy. But I couldn't do enough. And I'm praying to the board for your understanding. I'm coming to the tail end of my practice. This is my first time coming to the state board meeting. And probably I needed to see all of you before I end it all. But if I put anybody through any stress because of this, it wasn't meant to be that way. But so long as I'm still working, I'm still going to go by the rule. Because that's how things work better. I really appreciate all of you for what you do. And this is all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
All right, board, do you have any questions? What is the pleasure of the board? Do I have a motion? The decision is to go with what the judge had or have our standard.
Mary Martha, what was the IC's recommendation?
It was the administrative penalty.
Okay, and the reprimand?
Was the ALJ's recommendation.
Okay, so how much was that?
The reprimand? That's it. It would just be the reprimand.
It's a public
Okay.
censure, there's no
Oh,
monetary
I'm
amount
sorry,
that
no,
goes
the
along with
other,
it.
the administrative penalty.
$2,000.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
Okay, so y'all have the 2 orders available in front of you. And if you look at them, you'll see both of them, the ALJ finds that you made discipline based on the failure to operate from October through January and the failure to submit to the PMP. The only difference between the 2 is the actual sanction. So the ALJ put forth a reprimand, which is not in line with our administrative penalty rule. So that's why you have the secondary option that has the administrative penalties in there. That's in line with what came out of the informal conference and what's in the administrative penalty rule. So your options right now are to either adopt the order that staff has put together with staff's recommendation of the $2,000 administrative penalty, or you can choose to go with the administrative law judge and not go with your administrative penalty rule and adopt the one with the reprimand. So that's what you're choosing, if that helps.
Okay. I'll go with staff. I'll do a motion to Agree with staff.
So we have a motion from Ian to stay with the staff's recommendation and the administrative penalty. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second from Donnie Lewis. All those in favor?
All right.
All those opposed? All right. Thank you very much. And Lily, you got that vote? Okay. All right. We are gonna still stay off of the schedule and not go back up to F10 right at the moment. If you will go to F4 on the agenda, we do have our review of our internal audit. And if we can have you come forward, introduce yourselves.
Good afternoon. Dan Graves with Weaver, the Pharmacy Board's internal auditor. I have a status report for you, and then we have a full report that I think we're going to discuss in closed session because it's related to information security or information technology services. In your packet, you should have a status report that's a one-page report. I don't know what page that's on because I don't have reference to your packet, but essentially, this status report shows that we have 3 audits on the plan for this year. The first one being the audit over information technology services. We did issue that report in final. We completed our procedures on April 18th and issued that report in final on May 1st. Again, we'll discuss those details in closed session because of the information security implications. We have 2 others. The compliance, they're both follow-ups. One of those is compliance monitoring on the peer assistance program. There was 1 remaining finding from 2021 internal audit that is low risk rated that we'll be following up on. We're in process of doing that, and we're almost complete with our procedures and reporting. We just didn't have it finalized in time to bring to you today. Also, we have 5 findings for enforcement that we'll be following up on. That is the last year's audit that we did. As a reminder, 2 of those are high risk rated, 3 are moderate risk rated. You should have also a schedule. It's a little table that maps those out for you. It shows there are 6 total open findings this year that we'll be following up on, and both of those are in progress. We will bring those to you in the August meeting along with we have one other report that's our annual internal audit report. That's the report that's required by the Texas Internal Audit Act, and the SAO, the State Auditor's Office, prescribes the format and content of that report. So we'll be bringing it to you as a compliance item for approval also in the August meeting.
All right.
Any questions?
So, at this time, a closed meeting will now be held for the purpose of conducting deliberations regarding security devices or security audits under the authority of the Texas Government Code Sections 551.076 and 551.089. On this date of May 7th, 2024, time being 1:39, the meeting will now go into executive session. So we will go into executive session. If y'all will leave the room for a little bit, we will come back out and get you